Hey, today I've got a bit of a monster headache, so I think instead of doing something heavy duty, I'm just going to do some closers today. Talk about a little bit of what's going on as well. So, there's quite a few events right now. Honestly, this level 80, this leveling event stuff for Jay is pretty lackluster. Honestly, I think they should give him some, kind of like what they have for Violet, where she's getting a lot of, like, endgame gear and, kind of progression advancers or enhancements. And he just gets, like, junk. I mean, I guess the elite status is nice. They're giving out, like, 10 days of elite status right now, so if I actually finish this event, and then the one where you just sit in town and idle, then I basically will have platinum status for the rest of the year. It's just pretty nice. I've already said before, my unless things change, my disposable income is going to be pretty low. Not non-existent, but pretty low until I get this upgrade paid off. So it's nice that I don't have to pay anymore. I did buy 2 of the packs. I actually bought 3 of the packs during the summer sale. It's really all I bought from the summer sale. Everything else was gifts for you guys, for the giveaway, or for my friends. So that gave me a solid, like, 3 months. Now, right now, the game is kind of buggy. They did fix some stuff, but it's still not in the best condition. You can tell, like, obviously nobody at Natick uses a controller, because basically the experience and P&A bars are completely all screwed up when you play with the controller UI. So I have to constantly mouse over the bar to see how much experience I have. So I think I can get to 75 in like 3 or 4 runs. So that'll be the stopping point for today. Obviously, I have the 20XX port review coming out in a few days, so that's pretty much the only big thing that's happening this week. And then on the 10th, I get my ad revenue, and I'm going to put all that together and make the first installment on the PC repair if I can. So I had some cool stuff happen today. I actually got a donation from somebody on Twitter. I mentioned that I had to put a pretty significant amount of my Patreon towards like the giveaway, and then I had to pay my internet bill, and I had to basically survive off it because my SSI does not come on the 1st anymore. It used to come on the 1st a couple years ago, but recently they changed it to the 3rd, so it basically means I can never completely save my Patreon unless I'm like really good, doing really good on groceries or something. Like I will always have to use a fraction of that to kind of survive for like 2 days. So that kind of happened. I was kind of a little frustrated, but I wanted to spend a little bit on the sale, and I had to pay off the giveaway anyway, so it's not really a big deal. I do still need help, obviously, but I think hopefully things will work out. Next month I have a pretty good ad revenue check as well, so that'll pay for at least half of it. Also, I met someone pretty cool on Twitch. He was streaming Basara 4 Sumeragi, and it turns out that he had actually been a fan of my guides in the past, which I think is pretty awesome. I have to admit, I've had really low self-esteem lately. I've already talked in length about my anxiety, depression, and the stress and all the symptoms that come from my mental illness. And sometimes it's really hard to keep this channel running, but when I hear that people appreciate my stuff, it really keeps me going. And I know a lot of people want to help with the PC upgrades and stuff, and they want to donate and things. And I think what's important, if you watch somebody who, you follow any kind of content creator and you can't support them financially, sometimes just telling them, pretty much actually every time that you tell them that you appreciate their work, sometimes that can go even farther. Like that guy was, he was cool to talk to. Sometimes I forget. And I'm like the only person that really did guides for Basara. Rumor has it, or not rumor has it, but there's a pretty high chance that a new game is going to be announced at the festival in a couple days. I think it's going to be in about a week. Obviously, much like the Tales festivals, the Basara festivals can be a bit of a buzzkill, especially if you don't live in Japan. Like at the Tales festival, sometimes they just don't announce anything. Like it will just be a celebration of the franchise, which is cool. You know, I wouldn't mind going to something like that. I'm a big Tales fan myself, but if you don't live in Japan, which I certainly don't, then you're basically not going to get jack shit out of those out of those festivals unless they announce like some kind of media or something. Now they did do that at the Tales festival this year. This year, I think they just announced that a new Tales game was coming. They didn't actually say like what it was or the platform or anything about it at all. But I think that's pretty cool, I guess. I guess they just don't want to show it too early. I mean, that's a pretty big problem in the gaming industry right now, is just showing shit like an eternity before it comes out. Like, you know, one of the biggest announcements this E3, besides DMC5 and the Vesperia remaster, was Resident Evil 2 Remake. And they announced that game like 4 years ago or something crazy like that. And it wasn't until like, you know, last month that we saw any gameplay at all. Now, what's interesting about the Basara Festival is that they have already announced the anime, like the school anime or whatever. So that rules out one like troll thing that they could announce. The other troll thing they could announce is the stage play, but as far as I know, that's still ongoing. So while that's a possibility, I think there's a higher chance than before that there's going to be a new game announced. And they did mention last year, there was an article about how there was supposed to be a new game coming either this year or next year. Now, Basara games don't really have super long marketing campaigns, you know, like with DMC5, where I think they said they want that out by like March, by the 10th anniversary or something. Actually, this is the 10th anniversary of DMC4 this year, but they want it out by like March or April. So they've got like maybe 8-9 months maximum, which is not really that long, but for like most AAA games, they usually will market it for way longer. Like there's games that just show up with like a logo or something, or a CG trailer with no gameplay. But with the Basara games, they generally don't do that, especially since they're only really released in Japan and some places in Asia. So we might actually see it this year. If not, it'll probably be early next year. I do have some bad news. I actually found out, thanks to a friend of mine, Enix Belmont, that you don't pay for Amazon pre-orders right away. It doesn't deduct it from your card or whatever payment source you have or method until the game actually ships. So it's going to be really hard for me to get Code of Princess. There's a chance that I'll be able to bum some cash off a friend or something, but since I live on a low income, I am almost always broke on the 31st of every month, or the last day of the month, whatever that is. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, unfortunately. I'll have to see how things go. If the weather's not too awful tomorrow, I'm going to go to the retro store, since they actually will take more stuff than GameStop will, and they have like actual reasonable trade values. I'm going to try to trade in some stuff for it. I think it's in my best interest to get that game physically, because if I don't like it, I can easily sell it and get my money back, and then I can just go ahead and turn around and get the X Legacy Collection, which is the same deal. That's actually on Amazon Prime discount right now, which is kind of weird, because they said this week that they're going to nerf the Prime discount and it's not going to apply to remasters anymore. But yet that and the Vesperia Definitive Edition are on discount right now, so I actually locked all that stuff in. So when that comes out, I'll probably have to load some Amazon credit on my account ahead of time. I locked in that, Bayonetta 3, and the Hokuto no Ken Yakuza game. That game looks more up my alley than the other ones. I think it's still going to be kind of overwhelming for me, but it comes out in October, and if all things go well, that's going to be around the time that I will actually have disposable income again, if I can actually get all this shit paid off. So I think that'll be a good game to kind of sink my teeth into. It actually does look pretty fun. The combat looks more up my alley with the air combos and stuff. Alright, got 15% more to go, so 2 more runs should do it. Think I have to fight the screaming lolly again.
얘들아 무리하지 마라. 건강이 제일이야. 그래, 이 맛이야.
I can't wait until Jay gets his buffs. He's still pretty weak. Honestly, he doesn't have all the buffs that he has in the Korean version. Actually, all the other versions he probably has those buffs by now.
약발 좀 받아볼까? 저건 또 뭐야? 잡았다.
Sometimes it's really hard for me to keep running the channel. Like, imposter syndrome, if you're not aware of what it is, it's basically when you feel like you don't deserve any success you have. Obviously, I don't really have a high level of success, otherwise I wouldn't have to constantly ask for crowdfunding and stuff, but like, if people compliment you at all, you always feel like you're an imposter, like you're a fake or a fraud, and you need constant reminders that you're not. So when that guy told me today that he was a big fan of my videos and stuff, that kind of gave me a bit of a morale boost, even though things are still pretty stressful with trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for this upgrade and future-proof things so I don't have to do this again anytime soon. I think just as a society, we focus too much on money with, like, helping people who are working, you know, from home or doing something that's not, you know, what you call an orthodox job. And it is true, you know, if you're working by yourself, then you definitely do need a pretty stable income to make it work. But, you know, just talking to people like me and keeping us company and letting us know that we're appreciated, that can definitely go a long way too. And I'd like to thank the people who do that for me regularly. This lolly is so annoying to fight. I wish this game didn't have so many screaming little girls. I think that's the worst part about this game. It's just like, they do have cool character designs. The only female character design I like in this is Harpy. The rest, not so much. Plus she does this shit, which takes forever. Oh, there we go. I'm sure another screaming Valali will place her later on.
감기 조심하십시오, 요원님.
Ah, that was not enough. Missing 4%, so gotta go back in there. And that'll be the end of the video. I pretty much said everything. But my imposter syndrome is really hard to deal with sometimes. Like, I just can't can't always get the motivation to keep going. Like, sometimes I just feel like it's pointless, especially when so many people on this site cheat the system and stuff.
출동 준비는 됐나요?
But somehow I've uploaded something every day for years now, and I will continue to do so because people do appreciate what I do, even though my mind always tells me the opposite. Alright, so I'm done in Area 7. I think.
저를 감기 조심하십시오.
Yeah, I'm done in Area 7.
부탁이에요. 양심 없는 과학을 버려주세요.
계속 여러분과 함께하고 싶어요.
방심한 저들에게
왔군. 왔군. 작은 눈보라 속에 숨.
So far, this game seems to be getting a pretty stable increase in population. Obviously, with MMOs, things, you know, they never stay completely stable. But, like, look at this right now. They actually had to add a second page of the channels because all of them were full. And this game, ever since I came back to this game back in May, it has never been this full. There'd be, like, at, like, absolute peak hours, like, right when the game resets, or, like, usually around, like, you know, dinner time in America, both on the East Coast and West Coast, there'd be people running raids and stuff, so you'd have, like, maybe 2 or 3 of these at chaos capacity. But now, pretty much the whole thing is, so it seems like, for better or for worse, the removing the fatigue has helped. I think, honestly, they could have just removed the weekly limit on the fatigue and it would have been fine, but just having the words no fatigue and stuff like fatigue is gone all over all the MMO sites and stuff seems to be helping. I hope that the economy won't just get completely foobar, but for now it seems relatively stable, but it hasn't even been a week yet, so who knows what's going to happen. I've got another almost 7 months of platinum, so if things do crash and burn or something bad happens, I'll definitely will let people know. It helps that the drop rates for all the rare stuff is like so ridiculously low that someone could theoretically run all day and maybe not even get a single one. Like, there's the Area 8 accessories that you get from here or from the raids, and those go for like hundreds of millions. But I saw someone yesterday, he did dozens and dozens of runs and not a single one dropped, and he was using the luck stabilizers the whole time too, so I'm not sure what will happen. But this game's pretty chill to play. You know, I could spend like 10-20 bucks on it a month and make some good progress. I bought the cash package at the beginning of the month, and that was enough to fund a bunch of stuff. I did some min-maxing on my Harpy, and now I have some money for J as well. I'm going to hit 75 after this and I can start doing the raids, so it's going to be nice to have some extra money so I can gear him up a little bit and use him to do the in-game stuff as well. I'm sure you notice I play these mostly when there's nothing going on, and right now it's definitely, even if I wasn't planning this big upgrade, it's just a total dry period. The only thing that's coming out that I'm getting for sure is Code of Princess EX, and then the EX Legacy Collection, depending on how things go, I'll try to get that as well, but I might wait to see if it's a good port too. I mean, obviously I've played all those games before, so it's not like it's a new experience for me or anything. It doesn't help that the Switch version has the doesn't have Switch tax. What it has is the bullshit where you pay for it, pay for the cartridge, and you only get half of the game. The other half is a download voucher. So not only does that kill the collector's value, it also makes used copies basically useless. Now, if it was the Vita, then the you know, storage space issues would be a problem as well, but luckily the Switch does not have that problem. It has cheap micro SD cards in its storage format. But, like, for instance, if I ever sold my copy of Bayonetta 2, like, I can't fathom who would actually want it, because I redeemed the code for Bayonetta 1, so it's essentially be paying for half a game. Apparently it has something to do with like Nintendo's prices for the cartridges or something. I'm not sure why they're so expensive, but I guess a lot of the publishers don't want to front the bill for it, so they cheap out like that. Yeah, it's pretty sloppy.
옛날처럼은 안 되는구나.
That comes out on the 24th. I think I locked that in on Amazon too.
이제 쉬어도 되는 건가?
I think what I'll attempt to do is I will just try to cough up like $70 and then just dump it on my Amazon account, and then if I can, I will change the payment method and try to get them that way. But Coder Prince is the only one I'm going to do for sure if I can raise the funds. Alright, so now I've got the Screaming Lolly Lab. I can go there and grind out my P&A if I want to. I'm nowhere near the power level to do that consistently or quickly. Alright, so get some stuff from this. There we go. Now I'm set until Christmas Eve. And they're giving out a 7-day one as well, so that will set me until New Year's Eve. Level up here. You definitely want calcium charging maxed because you get access to Dragon Kick. Later on, he's going to have more ways to proc Dragon Kick, but right now I think this is the only one that he has, so it's definitely very valuable. It does a ton of damage, and the hitbox is quite generous too.
내가 해. 잘했어. 네 귀환을 기다릴게. 언제까지고?
Alright, so I think I can craft my new accessories now, since I am 75. Yeah, all I need is some cash. So 10, 20, no, 10, 18, 26, and 34 million. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing the math in my head right now. I'm too tired. I have like a massive headache right now, so this is a little harder than it should be. Alright, I need 125 total. So I need 75 more of the elite phase thingies. Actually, let me open these first, see if I get lucky. The drop rate on these things, dropping anything useful, is so pitiful, but let's go ahead and try. Yeah, case in point. Alright. Now I have to go to the Sugar Mama,
자,
get all the
제가
cash
뭘
off her, and
추천해볼까요?
then use it to fund him. This should be a pretty significant power boost. I should be able to at least partially solo some of the raid stuff.
다시는 같은 실수를 반복하지 않을 거야.
I think I might need a couple more
이제 다시
of the chromatic phase essences. Yeah. Alright. I think that will do it.
계속 싸울 겁니다.
차원의 비밀을 밝히는
아, 어서 와. 탐색 팀장 최고나야.
Put some cash in there. I'm not going to be able to buy any loot boxes anytime soon, so kind of got to watch it a little bit, but I think I will be okay.
탐사에 집중해줘. 무리하지는 말고. 내가 직접 안에 들어갈 수 있다면 좋을 텐데.
Oh, I forgot to put them in the phase essences in the storage.
어서 와. 탐색 팀장 최고나야. 않을 거야.
Alright, should be good now.
그래.
I actually got a compliment on my J costume today, which is pretty cool, because I definitely had to work pretty hard to get it. Not only loot boxes, but also like camping the auction house every 5 seconds. Which I'm glad I did, because they actually removed that particular loot box from the game with this past update.
패배하지 않았어.
So you actually can't get these avatars at all right now, aside from other players. I forgot to
우리와 함께
get the
싸워줘.
cash out of the bank. Alright, I think that's enough.
적들에게 한 방 먹여줘.
Alright. Might need to get some extra stuff, but I think this will be okay. I skipped the crater gear, so I'm just gonna run with this instead, at least for now. Since not that many people are running Tiamat anymore. So actually, let me see if I have space for this. Yeah, I would have to run 3 out of 4. And I want to keep my special agent one. Actually, I can probably go without this. We'll see. I have to check the total combat power difference. Alright.
우리와 함께 싸워줘.
So now, before I sign off, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this stuff. Probably just go plus 11 for now. I don't feel like dealing with the RNG. I'll actually have a time limited one here. Let's get rid of that one.
아직 패배하지 않았어.
Alright. This one's not worth trying to get it to plus 12 because it's going to be replaced eventually. At least for now. Maybe if I get a free enhancement fortifier or something, I'll mess around with that, but I think this is good. So let me see if I can tune it. Alright, I'll keep that just for the TCP up. The rest of this stuff can go. Alright, damage up during X Factor's good. Now it's being a troll. You know what, I'll keep movement speed for now. Why not? That's such a troll. Now that I have the EX Jade Magnetism, that's like pointless. Attack speed. Yeah, not bad. Alright, so let's put this on. Not sure what to replace. And take this off. No, it's actually pretty significantly weaker, but it'll be stronger in town. Anyway, I'll mess around with this later on. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, thanks to the people who support me. Dealing with imposter syndrome is not easy by any definition of the word. So I thank people who just stop by and comment. It means more than I think. Just because you can't help me out with my financial stuff does not mean that you're not helping me. I think just telling me that my content matters, that means way more than I let on. I just wanted to thank people. Anyway, like I said, the next major event this week is going to be the 20XX Switch port review, which, I don't know about you, I uploaded that raw gameplay. I'm under embargo, but you can probably figure out, the quality of the port. But I cannot do it until the 9th, so on the 9th I will definitely explain the issues with the port and stuff. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. If you want to help with the payments I have to make on the PC and stuff, go ahead and hit up the links in the description. Peace.